next Friday. Oh, welcome to the Musical Debate X. We have with you, of course, myself, Josh, who's super awesome, and then we have Mike, our other host. And with us tonight, we have special guest Wesley Woody. He's the singer of that great song everybody heard last week, the Breakfast at Shoney's. It's a parody song, and that's what we're covering tonight is parody songs. Welcome to the show, Wes. You like Wes or Wesley?
Thanks. I appreciate you guys having me this evening.
All right. So I'll tell you what. Since you're just starting out, why don't you go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Wesley Woody, of course. I have been doing theater and music since about third grade. As far as parody music is concerned, I've always been a big fan of Weird Al, of course, and have always wanted to write parody music, but nothing really ever came to me until several months ago. I was going down the road listening to Breakfast at Tiffany's. I was kind of hungry at the time, which isn't a rare occurrence for me because I'm a rather large fellow. But I started thinking, Breakfast at Tiffany's is cool, but Breakfast at Shoney's would be so much better. And the words just kind of fell in place after that.
Nice. Now, obviously, the song has a little bit of a political overtone. Was it actually a direct snipe at Michelle Obama for her food initiatives that she's trying to do for like schools and stuff?
It definitely was. Here's the thing. Like I said, I am a big guy, and that's my choice. If I wanted to get up and exercise every day, if I wanted to go get liposuction or gastric bypass, I could do any of those things. Here it is. We live in America. It is our choice to be as healthy as we want to be or as unhealthy as we want to be. If I choose to be unhealthy, it's my right, and I don't think a president or his wife should be allowed to tell us what we can and can't eat.
Amen to that.
Would it be better for more nutritional food in our schools? Definitely. I would love to see our kids be healthy. But it's just not something that should be forced upon us. That is up to those children's parents, and that is up to those children as they get older, how they want to conduct their lives and how they want to handle their health situation.
Well, I have a different definition of what is healthy. I mean, what they're calling healthy nowadays is pretty much vegetarian, no meat whatsoever, broth, and that's not healthy to me. Me, I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy. You can be husky and healthy at the same time. I don't think you have to be a rail to be healthy.
Without a doubt. It's funny. Every time that I go to the doctors, I end up having to get my blood pressure checked several times because they don't believe that a man my size can be as healthy as I am. It's basically what the media has forced upon us as to what's healthy, what's attractive. My song, even though it was meant to be funny, is also meant to say, hey, we are who we are and be happy with who you are.
So actually, I can definitely relate to that. I have pretty much the same situation. I have always been a big guy. Even when I was at my healthiest, when I was working out constantly, I had actually dropped down to about 240. And at 240, I had almost a flat stomach, and I had just I was bench pressing about 300 pounds, and it's just I'm just big. That's all there is to it. Even now, I'm overweight by my standards. 265 is a comfortable weight for me. But even overweight, when I go into a doctor or anything like that, my blood pressure is always I think right now it's shot up over the last couple months to where it's almost over. It's still in the good, but it's on the high side of good. And my pulse rate's usually around 70-ish, and obviously if I can outrun you guys and I weigh 270, then that and I'm supposed to be unhealthy. Why? Because the number says 270 and not 160.
I actually was getting into we talk about school lunches and stuff. The lady that runs the school lunch program, that the dietitian that does it, she weighs about 90 pounds. So that's why lunch proportions are so small at school. It's like you expect to feed a teenager that burns probably about 10,000 calories a day on this. Not going to happen. A little pizza, a little milk, and that's all you're getting. I remember coming home from school starving. It just wasn't enough.
Without a doubt.
Actually, that's a good point, because if you notice that the food portion sizes don't change throughout the entire public school system. If you're in elementary school, you get the same slice of pizza or the same hamburger as you do when you're 16 years old.
Sure, if you're a first grader, but if you're on the wrestling team, expect 3 meals. I was on the wrestling team. We had to eat and eat, get that weight up, get it down, whatever we had to do. And, the lunch just kind of didn't cut it. We almost always packed an extra lunch on top of our lunches.
Right. And here's the thing. Again, they're trying to put everyone in the same box as far as this is how everyone needs to look. This is what everyone needs to eat. This is how you need to be exactly like me. Health is different for each person. As long as you're happy with who you are, it shouldn't matter. Now, if you really want our kids to be healthier people, teach them better about health. Teach them how foods work together. Teach them how important exercise is. But don't force this way of life upon them.
Yeah. Change their hearts, change their minds, but don't become the fascist with it. Don't make them like, this is what you eat. No,
but New York has the same sentiment. Soft drink sizes. It's not just school lunches that's the problem. It's not just about kids. Trying to tell adults what they can and cannot buy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
New York has a big initiative on that.
I even mentioned it in my song that, okay, so I can't get an extra large drink anymore. Awesome. I'll just go ahead and buy 2 large drinks. You're not going to change the way I eat or drink by changing my portion size, because I'll just get more portions.
Exactly.
It's kind of silly.
I'm annoyed by 5 small drinks.
I say, along that same line, something interesting. Has everyone seen that they're talking about taking certain foods off of food stamps, and one of the ones that's up for debate is steak?
Steak?
Yes, actually, I've seen that.
That's crazy. That's one of your most critical meals. I know it's not something you should have all the time, but it is something that your body...
No, I think the idea on that is if they take the high-end foods off, because I think their assumption is that poor people aren't buying the high-end foods, and that's one of the culprits that are coming up when they're trading out food stamps, is people buy steak like 2 for $1, doing the $2 for $1 thing, and
right.
So I think they think they're going to keep that down. And I'm sitting there. Instead, what's going to happen is basically all these poor people that are on food stamps. What's going to happen is they're going to basically be forced to eat hot dogs and macaroni and cheese, because they're going to take it off everything else that's nutritious and healthy and good for you, in terms of what I consider healthy and good for you, which is you can't
balance healthy and inexpensive. You just can't do that,
It's vegetables, man.
Might as well go back to government cheese, By the way, I love government cheese.
And here's the thing. The way to handle that is, okay, you don't want people using food stamps for expensive items. Fine. Make the food stamps where you can only purchase generic. But don't make it to where you take someone's, entire, food group away. You can't take away steaks. Like you said, you get left with hot dogs and macaroni. And let's face it, that's trash.
Yeah.
That's no way for people to try to survive.
So definitely not, especially if they're going to sit there at the same time and impress upon everyone the importance of eating healthy and eating right. And then we're like, okay, but we're going to give you basically the throwaway parts of food.
Now, you're working on a parody of one of MBT's guys, Huge, right? You're going to be covering one of his songs.
Yeah, actually, I'm working on it right now. Trying to. I got to learn the song first well enough, and then once I have the original version down, I'll get to work on the parody.
Okay, so you don't have an idea as to what you're going with it yet? You haven't gotten that far along on it yet?
I haven't. It's kind of it's organic, for lack of a better word. I hear something and it plants the seed. Then I have to wait for it to bloom before I understand what the song is going to be about.
Okay, now let me ask you.
And right now, I'm just waiting for that to happen. With Breakfast at Shoney's, it was like I said, it was really easy. It came to me in a car ride, while I was listening to Breakfast at Tiffany's. yesterday I actually just finished penning my new one called "It's Not Easy to Be Me," which is a parody of Superman by Five for Fighting. And what got me on what got this song to come through for me was a friend of mine was talking about how they try to charge fat people on airplanes extras. They have to buy an additional seat in order to fly.
Okay.
And it kind of made me angry. And so I usually work through my anger with humor. And so I wrote this song about that.
Okay, now here's the question. So obviously now you've got two songs that are along the lines of being fat. So is it safe to say that your stuff is food and fat centric, or is this going to be like basically, are you like the spiritual successor to 1980s Weird Al?
I think that's probably a little closer to it. I would like to be able to expand on what my parodies are about. But, a wise man once said, you write about what you know, and I know about being fat. So that's, there's a lot of humor that I can draw from that, with my own experience and then with what most people already think of overweight people. There's just such a wealth of humor there. The only problem that I'm having is offending other people of size.
I think that if your stuff stays in good jest, and obviously it has been.
I don't know. I think times are changing, though. Think about it now. I mean, do you think the song "Eat It," covering the "Beat It" song, is really the one where I would have went for in modern humor?
No, but at the same time, he's not going for Weird Al's modern stuff. That's why I asked if he was a spiritual successor.
Specifically,
no. He's Weird Al.
But in the days he did like "Eat It" and "Fat" and things like that because they were safe, I guess. I mean, he wasn't really big when he first started doing it. Now he's a legend. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. You know what I'm saying? There's no limit to what he can do.
Right.
He can do a lot of his newer stuff.
He's definitely gotten edgier over the last 20 to 30 years. I mean, that's, it's apparent, but we're living in a society where you can, go a little darker or a little edgier with music, even if it's parody music. It's okay now to be a little more adult about it.
Sure, we went from Simpsons to South Park. That's a big jump.
Like I said, I think that for the most part, I can't imagine. I don't know. I guess I can see certain people, but I think no matter what you sing about, you're going to get some people up in arms about it. I'd say because I can't imagine that people being offended by something along that lines. Because if you're being a fat guy, I totally get the struggle, that you go through when people annoy you about it. That frustrates me all the time. People are like, oh, or what was it? The one they always say to girls, oh, she's so pretty in the face because the girl's fat, or that fat shaming thing.
I don't know. I got a good sense of humor about it, and I had a good sense of humor when I was skinny, and now that I'm a big boy, I still got a good sense of humor about it. I don't think I really never got I know Wesley, he takes it well, or I guess, I don't know. He shows it well. I don't know if he takes it well, but he does it well. You know what I'm saying? He carries it well. I don't know if he ever feels offense to. I mean, is there ever a time you hear a fat joke and you're like, that's just too funny, and there's no offense taken?
Hey, you know what? I actually like fat jokes. I laugh about them all the time. Most of the jokes that I tell when I'm trying to make friends or family laugh is almost always at my expense. But what I find funny is that I have actually offended quite a few big people because they're like, well, you're just making it worse on us. No, I am being proud of what I am, and I'm showing the rest of the world, hey, screw you. I'm fat and I'm happy. What do I care what you think? It's just, for me, I would like to, just let the big people of the world, know, hey, it's okay. It's okay. There are still people that love us.
No, that's actually an excellent sentiment to have on it. Because, like I said, I mean, I think that every fat person has struggles when they're little, but by the time you're an adult, none of that stuff matters. I mean, because obviously get picked on when I was little for being.
Then again, it doesn't matter to the people around you either. I mean, getting a girl over the age of 20 as a really big guy is a lot easier than getting one at 15 or 14 where they're heavily judgmental.
Right. Yeah, because there's no social.
Without question. Okay, and I've actually found that, you know, because of what I went through as a child, it brought out my humor, it brought out my wit, and it's true what they say. If you can make a girl laugh, you're in the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it as much as, you know, media tries to portray that nobody wants to be with a big guy, I have dated girls who were, you know, supermodel, anorexic size, and I have dated girls that are my size, and the thing about it is every single one of them was beautiful because it had nothing to do with their body.
Well, I'll tell you now, I dated a girl one time that the fact that I was big is actually what she liked, because she felt comforted knowing that she was with a big guy versus being with the little skinny dude. Yeah, and I also knew another girl that she was dating this super skinny guy, but whenever there was a problem, she always called me up because she's like, well, what is he gonna do? No joke. She called me one time freaking out because of she thought someone was in her house, in her room, and her guy's there, and I'm like, she yells for me. I come over, and I'm like, well, if he's here, what the hell do you need me for? She's like, he's not gonna be able to do anything. Look how small he is.
That's messed up. I guess that's
you know, I will say that my size has actually gotten me out of more fights than it's gotten me into, because I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in violence, but there comes times when you know you're about to fight. Me being as big as I am, if I just stand up straight, puff up my chest a little bit, I look like a juggernaut. You don't want to mess with me. Exactly. And I'm kind of happy about that because it keeps me from having to fight.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like what is it? It's kind of like karate, you know. You learn it so that way you don't have to use it. Well, like I said, our size is the same way.
Exactly.
Now, with you got big people in the media, and they become more popular people. Well, you know, even like Chris Farley. You know, Chris Farley's a legend of comedy. He's, you know, everybody loved him as a big guy. I don't think they would have appreciated him as a small guy. I really don't. I think if he was David Spade sized, they wouldn't have appreciated his comedy.
He wouldn't have been nearly as funny. And I think with me, like, you know, like right now, my roommate is trying hard to get me to start doing stand-up. And I'm like, you know, most of my comedy comes from the fact that I'm a big person. And if it hadn't been for me growing up being made fun of and then learning how to flip that on people, I would have never been funny at all. You know, there would be no comedy in my life.
And that's sad, because I see a lot of people, and I think you're right on that, because I've seen a lot of people that grow up, I guess we'll say, in the box of what's normal. They tend to be humorless as they get older. And maybe it's because they don't face the adversity to realize that you can laugh at yourself. But I watch all these special interest groups and stuff, and the people who are behind them are these ultra normal people that, like, basically, like I said, I guarantee you can check mark every box of what's considered standard, and they hit them. And like I said, they're just so humorless.
Right.
Well, graceful humility is an art. It really is. And I see some people handle it with such grace, and then I see some people handle it, and it's all in the individual, you know, no particular demographic, just some people handle it well, some don't handle it well. So to be able to say, laugh at yourself, to be able to flip it on the other guy, to, you know, and sometimes even make him, like you were talking about earlier, you know, you made the other guy feel small and inadequate. You know, that would score one for the big guys, because it doesn't happen that often. Usually the big guys always feel embarrassed or some, but, like, you know, you take it to a whole new level. You're like, yeah, I'm not just going to, but I will say this. I will say this. I was a little disappointed because in the 90s, Ricki Lake took the whole love me for me, but she didn't do it till after she lost about 300 pounds, which kind of disappointed me in her. How much was her real true confidence? How much of that was an artificial confidence from losing weight?
Well,
exactly. See, for me, once upon a time, I weighed 675 pounds, and I was the exact same guy then that I am now. You know, it hasn't mattered. I was born fat, you know, and I dealt with it well, I have dealt with it all my life, but when I was in elementary school, I got tired of being picked on and made fun of, and when it finally occurred to me that if I could insult myself before someone else could do it, I took their power from them. They no longer had anything that they could say to make fun of me. And now, and then it occurred to me that, hey, these people are laughing with me now instead of against me, and it's the same jokes. It's just that it came out of my mouth instead of out of the mouth of someone who dislikes big people. So it's fine to be confident once you've lost all your weight or, what have you, but it's better if you had that confidence to begin with, if you could just realize that it doesn't matter if you're 600 pounds or if you're 60 pounds. You're a person, and you deserve respect and love.
Well, I agree with the sentiment. I think that that's actually probably difficult for a lot of people. Especially, I noticed that women, it's such an, I don't know whether it's intentional or whether it's ingrained in them from society or whether it literally is just something. Because women tend to be flip flop on their confidences anyway. But obviously, big girls, there tends to be a lot harder for them to accept that kind of a thought that I've noticed than for big guys.
Well,
it's true, but it's the double standard of our society. We're taught that women always need to be physically perfect, whereas men, it would be preferred if we were perfectly, fit, but it's not a necessity. Whereas women are taught, it's a necessity. You have to look like Barbie or you're never going to find a significant other. Guys, we know, eventually, as long as we don't have our standards up through the roof, that we can hook up eventually. With girls, they're told it's never going to happen unless they look like a supermodel.
Women stare at our wallet size, you know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't matter as much. I don't care if, they don't care if you're 500 pounds as long as you have a thick wallet, Well, the thing is, I'm going to say that I get the concept of being societally produced, but I've noticed that most of the things that women aspire to, that everyone constantly says, basically society teaches them, actually it's just other women and their interactions with other women that teach them. Like, I've never really cared whether my old lady wore makeup or not. It made no difference. I don't care how she wears her hair. Actually, I get aggravated when she changes stuff. Like, when she went from glasses to contacts, it annoyed me. And I was really upset. And then when she moved back from contacts back to glasses, it annoyed me. When she cuts her hair super short, and then when she lets it grow out, it always drives me crazy when she makes a change. But I never really cared which one she chose. I just wanted to keep it the same. Well, I've noticed that women tend to be very judgmental over women. And I think that's actually a lot of that. I don't think it's so much a double standard because I don't think you can. Yeah, because guys will bang them all. We don't care. Women.
Right, exactly. Well, on top of that, because we don't judge each other the same way. Like I don't ever go. I mean, I might look at a dude and be like, "Man, that guy needs to lose some weight. He's looking rough." Or I might be like, "Dude, that guy is fucking super duper in shape, and that's awesome." But there's really only one guy I hate on this planet, and one of those guys that and that's Dolph Lundgren.
I bet.
No, Dolph Lundgren, man, because that guy's too perfect. All right. Yeah, he's like 6'6".
And he killed Apollo Creed. You can't forgive a guy for that.
Exactly. Well, I think he's got like a 165 IQ. He's got a bioengineering degree. He can speak 3 languages fluently. 6'6", 2-time world kickboxing champion. I'm like, screw you, buddy. I'm like, I hope his dick is like 2 inches tall, 2 inches long, man.
Yeah, and he made that atrocious He-Man movie. What the? Okay, I'm on the hating his bandwagon now.
I'm the He-Man generation. Don't be hating on He-Man. That movie was awesome.
No, the movie. Admittedly, I mean,
he was awesome. No, Wildor wasn't. They should have had Orko, but other than that, I'm good.
Actually, no, there was a lot of stuff wrong with that movie. Now, like I agree with you that he was great in the movie. He was an awesome He-Man. Unfortunately, everything around him sucked. From the cross-dimensional thing.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, for the cross-dimensional thing, instead of it just being in Eternia, to the Wildor thing, to the cosmic key and all that junk. Yeah, like I said, no, that movie was horrible, except for He-Man. He-Man was really the only thing that was worthwhile in that movie.
See, now, y'all offended me now. Y'all can talk about my weight, you can talk about my girl, but not He-Man, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that.
Hey, it's still
Bash of the Thundercats,
Okay, but that's
the Transformers movie if you want.
Cartoon. You probably like
What?
that same He-Man cartoon when he was really skinny and had the ponytail in space.
I watched it. I'll admit, I watched it. What?
I watched it, but that's because they didn't have any other He-Man cartoons on at the time.
I watched She-Ra just in case He-Man was on the motherfucker.
That's different. Everyone watched She-Ra for that reason.
Well, he was like every fourth episode.
You know, I never checked out that new He-Man. It looked atrocious to me, but I did unfortunately watch the new Thundercats.
Is it that
I
bad?
think I would have liked it had I watched it first instead of the original, but you can't beat the original Thundercats, man. Rhino could kick He-Man's butt any day of the week.
I
I
went
don't know
back.
about that.
Let's say I went back and I watched a lot of the old cartoons, and while the cartoons themselves ended up bad, because apparently whoever it was that was originally writing cartoons were geniuses, and they had like, dude.
Especially the G.I. Joe. I went back and watched G.I. Joe, and that one was just amazing.
And then I think the labels or the companies got a hold of it, and they're like, wait a minute, kids are stupid. You can't put that much intelligence into their show. Because I watched the initial episodes of G.I. Joe, the initial episodes of Thundercats, and a lot of those. Like, the initial episodes of Thundercats was actually really complex. The initial episodes of G.I. Joe were really complex. And then, of course, by season 3, it's just snarf all over again, you know?
We were sad to find out that Destro was not black.
I wasn't sad to find out. You were sad to find out. I thought it was awesome that he's Scottish.
I don't know about that. I mean, I like Scots, don't get me wrong, but Destro was the, you know, he was the black guy in there. They, you know, without him, Cobra didn't have a
token black.
Yeah, but Cobra didn't have a token black guy. They weren't even PC, you know. What terrorist group isn't PC?
Radical Islam?
No, they've agreed to accept
Oh, my
women
goodness.
now too. I heard ISIS is allowing women to join ISIS now. They need the bodies.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm sorry, because if I were a chick, I could not join ISIS, and not because the whole terrorism thing. I'm just sitting there going, okay, you're promising the guys that in their afterlife they're going to get 72 virgins, they're going to get this, they're going to get that. What the hell are you going to promise them women that makes it sound like a good idea to them?
72 shoes.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to wear a burqa.
Having to handle one is bad enough. 72 of them that you have to teach?
Exactly.
No.
No, that's why you train one and you make her train all the others.
I could scour my whole neighborhood. I could not find 72 virgins, so that is a feat in itself. I have to admit that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I go, somebody under 10. Somebody under 10. Nowadays?
Nope, let's go ahead and put this in perspective, though. If I remember correctly, one of Muhammad's wives was 7 years old.
Oh, okay. So you're saying Muhammad had a little dick?
I'm saying that, like I said, Muhammad, one of his wives was like 7 years old. I'm thinking you might have to do some waiting for them to grow up a little bit before they're actually ripe.
Okay.
My goodness.
I know.
Well, I know. You know. But we got so far off track. I forgot where we were. Oh, but parody. We do this a lot. Don't worry.
Parody, yes, sir.
I was thinking when you were talking about, you know, learning to roll with the punches and stuff like that, Weird Al had a similar upbringing, you know what I'm saying, which made him have that humor. And maybe that's what it takes to be that parody artist, because you have to be able to laugh at yourself as much as anybody else to truly have that humor. You know, I mean, the guy played polka, for God's sakes, you know what I'm saying? There's no doubt that he had a rough upbringing, a little Jewish kid, you know.
Hey, see, I don't even see how you can say that.
You know,
for a fact.
He said in an interview that his parents, that a traveling salesman had come to his door and offered to sell his parents an instrument. They could choose between a guitar and an accordion, and they chose to buy him the accordion. So, you know, where most kids, you know, Weird Al's age, they were trying to play Stairway to Heaven and, you know, things like that. And here he is doing Beer Time Polka. You know, that had to be tough.
You can play Stairway to Heaven on the accordion. I don't want to hear that.
Like,
we're going to get an accordion artist on here just to play Stairway to Heaven.
But I'm going to say it like this. You got to figure, though, all the awesome greats play accordion, though. Because, like, Drew Carey plays accordion also. You know?
Yep.
So, I just want to know if he really does brew his own beer, like in the show. You know what I'm saying?
Who, Drew?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
In the show, they have their own home brewery. That's how the show starts out, and then eventually they try to start their own.
You know, imagine the price is right on it.
Nice. I was watching this one of these things where where he was doing the Price is Right show, and apparently the girl who flips the things over or whatever, she accidentally flipped over the winning one, so he gave it to the the contestant because she'd messed up her opportunity to win it. So he went in and gave the card to the lady, and man, that girl looked so embarrassed. But he's like, it's no big deal coming over here. I was like, I would have been pissed because that freaking card probably comes out of the paycheck.
I don't know if he tops Bob Barker, but I do like Joe Carey on The Price is Right. Now, I prefer Steve Harvey on Family Feud.
Actually, I was surprised at how good of a what's it called he is. A game show host he is. Yeah, actually, I appreciate him as a game show host. And I was never a big fan.
I think all comedians could be game show hosts. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I never really appreciated Steve Harvey as a comedian. And that's why I said it when I saw him as a game show host. I actually really did appreciate him. And I was surprised that I did so.
Yeah, but could you imagine somebody like Nick Schwartzen as a game show host, or maybe Demetri Martin or somebody like that?
Demetri Martin, I think, would be a great game show host. Everyone would be sitting there like just because of his deadpan delivery, they wouldn't be able to tell if he was serious or not. No, you don't.
Daniel Tosh's Family Feud. I mean, that's got to be great. That's gold in itself.
But not Nick Schwartzen.
The best game show host would have been Sam Kinison.
Oh my God.
It didn't matter if you were right or you're wrong. You would have felt like you were wrong.
Actually, it wouldn't work for one reason.
Right. Oh!
He went to go on Wheel of Fortune, and they don't judge you by how many puzzles you won because you won all those. They judge you by how excited you get when you win the puzzles to pick you to be on the show. So, how would you top Sam Kinison? He'd be more excited for you. He'd be like, you're going to the final round. It's like, whoa, just calm down.
You're like, please just don't hurt me.
Say no, Sam Kinison, that'd be great. Actually, they just do those stupid celebrity boot camp shows and stuff. Those reality shows. That's where he should have been, man. Because there's like the Biggest Loser or whatever.
No, you get Sam Kinison, Chris Farley, and was the other Belushi brother?
No, actually, you can get Bobcat Goldthwait on there also, though.
Maybe. I mean, everybody likes him.
If you didn't want anybody to understand what was being said.
Oh, I just feared that just the sheer intensity of screaming and stuff was.
I heard they're rebooting the police academies. I don't know how true that is, but they've been talking about rebooting police academies. I don't know how that's going to work.
I'm going to say it like this. I have learned to accept not only that they're going to reboot and make bad versions of the movies, that I now have a new standard by which I judge them. So used to I judge them based on good movies, right? And I realize I can't really do that. Now with the reboot, now that they're doing the reboot again of Fantastic Four, and I've seen what they're doing with it, I now have a new low standard by which to base these movies.
See, you're wrong. It's like Windows. You keep rebooting it till it works.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
That's the thing. Like, now they're rebooting Spider-Man for the third time. Awesome. It's like, what? Maybe if you just stuck to your source material and instead of trying to make a multi-billion-dollar juggernaut where you can sell 8 billion toys to kids and actually put out a good movie, you wouldn't have to reboot it every 3 years. And there's another problem. If you want to remake a movie, fine. But how about waiting about 20, 30, 40 years before you do it? I don't need to see the same movie 2 years after I saw it.
Actually,
it's just pitiful.
It's
do what Disney does. Disney just dusts them all, the same movies off every 10 years and re-releases them.
Let's say it's funny because a lot of people did not like the new Amazing Spider-Man. I don't think it was great. I think it was better than the Tobey Maguire ones. Because it felt
without question.
Without Bruce Campbell, nothing is a movie.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, because Tobey Maguire, Bruce Campbell. But I think that it was more comic and it fit more with the universe they're building. And so I say that people can forgive the fact that it wasn't perfect. Just make the next movie in the series better. I mean, that kind of thing happens.
That's it.
And because like a lot of people are like, well, they changed a lot of stuff. I'm like, yeah, they changed a lot of stuff because you just watched the same thing, 2 years ago. And I mean, that's pretty much what they did. If you watch, they did a lot of the same stuff, but they had to change it up, like when he gets his costume idea and stuff. They couldn't just have him in a wrestling ring. Why? Because you just saw that. You're just going to watch, basically they would have just made
right.
And so, and I think
it's like people, were complaining that he wasn't with Mary Jane in the two new ones. It's like, well, but we just had that. He did date more than one person in the comics. That explored a different part of his story that we don't know about, or that most people don't know about.
It should have been Gwen Stacy anyway, so it's not like Just because the first two reboots got it wrong.
Exactly, yeah. Gwen Stacy was actually his first one. It just wasn't his true love, which is why everyone goes with Mary Jane, because that's the girl he ended up with, and it simplifies things.
No, Gwen Stacy was his true love. Mary Jane was the slutty girl that you eventually get with after, right around your college
is that
years.
how that works?
Yeah, that's how it works.
But the thing is, I think that there's two things that these guys need to learn in order, and they're starting to, but man, I've never seen such a hard learning curve. Number one is, when it comes to superheroes, you don't have to change things and add stuff in that doesn't exist, because people will appreciate it. They're like, well, I think they think that if it doesn't follow the normal movie format, well, where's the love interest? There doesn't have to be a love interest all the time, man. Captain America is cool because he's Captain America. It doesn't matter that he doesn't have a love interest. Trust me. Not even little girls are going to care. They're going to be like, dude, Captain America is awesome. All right, number two is, people expect their superheroes in costumes. You do not have to try to find them just leather clothes to wear, so that way they're modern day. You can.
Amen.
No one's going to complain. It's like they're doing Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, don't get me wrong, Joss Whedon and his freaking Avengers. I honestly loved the Avengers better than all the other ones, because somehow he was able to take the low end guys, the Black Widow and the Hawkeye, and still have them on the same team with Hulk, Thor, and Iron Man, and still make them feel like they were contributing to the group.
I think instead of rebooting for the third time these movies, they should just reboot a parody version of it, where Spider-Man does the scroll down and get a kiss, and the girl takes forever and blood's rushing to his head and he's bitching about it, something like that. Because, can you imagine hanging in that position for too long? She's over there slowly kissing you, the blood's just rushing to your head, when all it's trying to do is pump itself to the penis anyway,
So yeah, but you've got to figure he's actually super strong and stuff. So he probably has no problem with his blood pumping where it needs to go. So the hanging upside down probably is exactly. So no, but seriously though, well, as I was saying though, the thing is, they keep, like the X-Men movies. All right, the X-Men movies have been a travesty to me, and I keep wanting to like them, and I keep going back to try to like them. It doesn't happen. And
the cartoon was good.
Huh?
The cartoon was good.
No, I'm talking about the last set of X-Men movies with Hugh Jackman and the new set. The new set's a little better than the last set, but really the only thing that I think they got right in the entire movie from the last set was Cyclops is as big of a dick as he's supposed to be. Well, to me, he is the movie, because everyone else is like, oh, Hugh Jackman's so cool. I'm like, no, actually, no, he's not near as cool as the actual Wolverine. I don't even like Wolverine, I'm saying that. But Cyclops is really the guy he's supposed to be. You feel like he's Cyclops.
Well, like, I was disappointed, but I don't think Deadpool. No offense, but I don't think Deadpool deserved his own movie. I think now he does because he's popular, but he wasn't popular prior to them actually making a movie.
Let's say, well, no, the problem is
kind of like Ghost Rider.
No,
Ghost Rider was not nearly as popular as some comics.
Deadpool is popular enough to get his own movie, but for all the wrong reasons. He's popular because everyone started liking two things: basically the memes that have Deadpool in it, and the whole chimichanga thing. It's like
chimichangas though.
I was working at support.com, and we were talking in the chat room, because basically it's all from home. And this girl, she commented, she said something that to do with comics and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome! Like, you like comics, chicks like comics are automatically an A+, And so we're talking about it, and like, what comics do you like and stuff. And one of the ones she said was Deadpool. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, finally, another person who loves Deadpool like I do. I mean, I have been a huge fan of Deadpool forever. You can ask Josh. I was way before.
Yes, unfortunately, it is true, guys. He is that messed up.
And so I'm sitting there going, I'm like, what's your favorite storyline from the original series? And she's like, what? I'm like, which one was your favorite storyline? Was it the one with the Harbinger, or was it the one when he had to go and like the miniaturized Rhino, or was it when he was with? And she's like, oh, I don't really read the comics. You don't read the comics, and you're not a Deadpool fan.
Well, you're a T-shirt fan.
So at first I'm thinking, okay, maybe I get it. Maybe she didn't like the first series. I'm like, okay, which one did you like? Did you like Agent X? Did you like Cable and Deadpool? She goes, oh no. She's like, I just like the stuff I see on the internet about him. And my heart sank.
That's hilarious.
Inside. And I was like,
I feel bad for you. That's a sad story.
Yeah, I know. It hurt. And then like the same thing. I see all these shirts at Walmart. I see people wearing Deadpool shirts. I had to, my first Deadpool shirt, I had to go to a comic book store to find. And because they didn't have it at Walmart at the time, and so they have them at Walmart. I'm all excited. I see people with them, like, hey, and the only thing they know is chimichanga, and I'm like, what about the sheep gun? That was probably the funniest thing in the first 69 issues was the sheep gun. Nothing. Agent X? No, nothing for Agent X.
Ghost Rider's the same way. So many people have seen the Ghost Rider movie, but never ever read a comic book.
They don't even realize there's a difference between Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch.
Probably not at all. I don't even think they realized that it was a comic book. Just the Ghost Rider movie, you know.
All I can say is I'm happy that if he was going to do a superhero movie, it was Ghost Rider, not Superman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, Nick Cage is Superman. Oh, that was...
No, hold on now.
I can only imagine. Jesus.
Well, because we were talking about, they keep talking about
making
he was
gunning hard
movie.
for it.
But they keep talking about a Moon Knight movie, and it's just, you know, it doesn't never happen. And I'm like,
Moon Knight should be small.
Great movie. It's a movie for everybody, though. Yeah, but it's one that anybody can get behind. It doesn't just have to be comic readers, kind of like Ghost Rider did. So at least they'll do it well. I mean, I have to say, they did a pretty good job on the Ghost Rider movie. I mean, the effects, but that's modern effects. I didn't like Transformers Super Ninjas either, but, you know.
You mean Ninja Robots on roller skates?
Yeah, Ninja Robots on roller skates.
Yeah. Actually, you know what the sad part is about that one, Josh?
What's that?
I watched the Transformers movie, and I'm watching that part on the highway, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are these ninja robots on roller skates? And then I'm talking to Heidi, and she goes, yeah. She goes, Carl didn't like the first two. He said he called them ninja robots on roller skates. I was like, that's exactly what I said. I was like, geez, great, word for word. That's exactly what I said about that movie. Ninja robots on roller skates.
Actually, you know, and it would have been cooler is if they would have done like, it would have centered around the Destructicons or somebody like that. I think they could have done a better movie.
No, I think if they would have just accepted the fact that the problem is they keep trying to change everything into something that's not. The fact is, Transformers are cool as giant robots. Treat them more like the mechs on Pacific Rim.
They treat them like the Matrix. What are you talking about?
Exactly. But everyone would have still loved it.
Okay, so now we're really far off topic.
Right, so let's reel back in.
Musical Debate X.
No, Josh, that was totally. You were just talking about how movies make parodies of comic books.
I know, I added that in there because you were so far off topic anyway. Okay, back to the man here and his Breakfast at Shoney song. Actually got a few questions, and then we'll ask some questions from the crowd about it that heard it last week.
All right.
You there, Josh?
Yeah, sorry. I had a menacing post. Where was that? The song. Now, do you only do acoustic? Is that the only instrument you can really play as a guitar, or do you play it on piano, other instruments?
No, the only thing I play is acoustic. I'm actually not. Well, I mean, you've seen the video. I'm not a very good guitar player. I started playing when I was about 18, and 2 years after that, I was in a car wreck that it completely obliterated my left arm. It's taken years to get it back to where I can do anything with the left arm, and playing the acoustic guitar is about the best I can do at the moment. Now, I've played electric. It just sounds horrible. There's definitely a different way to play electric as compared to acoustic, and I just don't have that talent. But for me, with an acoustic guitar, it just means that I can break it out anywhere I happen to be at, and I can play. I don't have to worry about, getting plugged into electric, or, if it's raining, am I going to get electrocuted? I can just play it on the acoustic.
So if it makes you
and you don't hear all my mistakes.
I'll say if it makes you feel any better, I have been playing banjo off and on for a few years, and I wasn't even in a car accident. I just sucked. So if that makes you feel any better about your talent,
yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, I try. I really want to play that banjo, man. I really do, but I so suck at it.
I've been working hard at playing the piano lately, and that's what I've been learning.
It's terrible. Everybody in my family, I come from a very musical family. My dad, before my older brother was born, was actually signed to, or was about to be signed to a record deal, but he was afraid that he couldn't support his family, so he decided to take a quote-unquote real job instead of becoming a musician. My older brother can listen to songs on the radio and then work with it for a few minutes, then he can play it on the guitar. My younger brother just started playing, and he's better than I am. So it's kind of rough for me coming from a musical family and having very little musical talent. Now, I used to do like musical theater. I was always in choirs all the way up through college and stuff. I did competitions and all that. But there's not a big market for people who sing show tunes or opera. So I've had to adjust my my musicality, so to say, to bring it to a larger audience.
What's that, Josh?
So you can't be suicidal if you're singing show tunes, right? That's a rule.
Actually, that's a good question for you. You have, obviously, your family are a bunch of real hardcore dudes. They're a bunch of burly big men. They're a bunch of men's men, wrestling, stuff like that. You ever get ragged on for being like show tunes? I mean, I'm sorry. I know in my family I'd be called fag would be what my nickname with the family. So I was just wondering, do you ever face that?
When I was younger, especially when I was in high school, it was really tough. My father, who is he was a good old boy from the deep south of West Virginia. He lived so far back in the mountains they had to pipe sunlight in for him to be able to see. He really never grew up experiencing songs that were sung in Latin or German or something like that. So when I would be at home practicing, I was constantly being ridiculed. What I was saying was being made fun of and whatnot. And with my older brother, well, older brothers always butt heads to younger brothers, so of course I caught crap from him. But it was always in good fun. I was never told I shouldn't do it. I was never told that this is stupid. You should give this up. Blah blah blah. I had support, but not in a constructive way.
I got it. No, that's cool.
Okay. Now you watch wrestling, right, Wesley?
Oh yeah. Not as much as I used to. To me, wrestling has become a soap opera for men. So, it's not what it was back in the 80s and 70s, which is, when I grew up. That's back when wrestling was wrestling.
You're talking about like WCCW with the Von Erichs and stuff, right? The good days? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, WCCW, the NWA, WWF. Back in the day before it became all about TNA and doing, all these interviews and then only getting 3 minutes of wrestling. It's just not what.
I think they've incorporated, sadly enough, too much music. And it was one thing with Fozzy being on there because he was a wrestler. I feel like don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having an intro song and stuff, but I live bands playing, things like that. It's become an all-out show instead of being about the wrestling. Wrestling has almost became.
It is, and now they have Hollywood writers and TV writers who script their shows. That's not how it was in the past. You came out there, you talked a little bit from the point of view of your character, and then you wrestled for 20, 30, 40 minutes. It wasn't, let me talk for 40, 50, 60 minutes, do 3 moves that the crowd knows are my 3 moves, and then pin the guy. You watch wrestling now, and there's no mystery left, I guess is my problem with it. It's so scripted. You can tell that it's just a TV show. It's not a sport. It's not it's not a competition.
Do you miss when in the old days? You remember you got the Star, and not I'm during the pay-per-views, but you got the Star, and he wrestles the heel, the nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's just coming out. Do you ever miss that?
Oh, definitely, because it used to be that you could slowly build the excitement to where Dusty Rhodes is going to be wrestling Ric Flair, but for a year before that, they're going to be wrestling other people. They just hint at it, and it builds the anticipation. It builds the want for it. Now it's like every single episode of wrestling, it's all dedicated to the money shot. There's no foreplay, there's no build up, there's just climax. And
it's the same path as porn. Porn used to have a plot, and you weave through that plot to get to the good stuff.
There's because I'll tell you like this, because of everyone, I've heard the terminology that it's because that basically wrestling's a soap opera for men. See, when I was growing up, at least in my opinion, I always considered it more like a comic book, a live action comic book. Because like the gimmicks that they use.
Only
like,
the Mexican wrestlers, they wear the outfits.
Well, no, even in American wrestling, I mean, all the characters were over the top, but that's what made them awesome. The outfits they wore, the storylines, they were amazing because they just pushed the boundaries of what you thought a person could do, and so you're just like enthralled with it. Like first appearance of the Undertaker. Like, the dead man rises, that kind of stuff. It's like, oh my god!
I agree, because when the Ultimate Warrior first showed his face, I was absolutely amazed. I was just like, love this guy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, the
dude was just like this beast, and he didn't even talk at first. He just kind of like ran around the ring like he was fucking on meth, and then just like
he probably was
3 times his size. And it's just like he was like the Hulk, he just rah, and that kind of thing was awesome. And then they had you had characters that had like the panache, like whether it was good panache or not, like like Honky Tonk Man, Rick Rude, those kind of guys. And I even liked it up into the late '90s. I think even when everything was kind of like they were doing some really weird stuff with it, was kind of cool. And then early 2000s, all of a sudden I no longer saw any personality from the wrestlers. I remember turning it on. I was trying to get back into wrestling, and I turned it on, and I saw 3 dudes in the ring, and all of them had these
rude.
No. It was these 3 guys, just 3 wrestlers, and I don't remember their names. There was 1 black guy and 2 white guys, and they all had basically the same close-cropped hair and these same red trunks, and they were wrestling. And I'm sitting there going, who's who on this? I don't even understand. Like, what are these guys about? It was it was like a total different thing. I thought I was watching a Magic Mike video or something. I thought maybe I got the wrong channel. I don't know, because they just like, it was like they didn't look like they had any personality or nothing. Shelton Benjamin, I think, was one of them. And they're like, but I didn't get him. I didn't get him.
I miss the personas of people like the IRS and
oh god,
Ted DiBiase and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Those personas were a Honky Tonk Man. All right, they didn't even have to have. They just had to have a really crafty gimmick, and I love it.
And that's what I was saying. I feel like that's the part that I miss when I at least when I saw that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's changed since then. I haven't really watched it since then. I kind of got disheartened with it.
It's basically the same thing. Now everybody has to like they're, super jacked up on steroids. They've taken the little bit of fantasy that was with wrestling. They've gotten rid of it, but they've replaced it with like a reality TV show type setting.
See, that's what I got, yeah.
Even faker, and I hate to use the word fake, but it seems faker now than it did when you saw Undertaker shooting lightning at people and, raising out of the grave. That was, at least almost realistic if you could just suspend your idea of reality for a moment and get behind it. Now it's like I watch wrestling and I'm wondering, am I watching Big Brother? Am I watching Honey Boo Boo? What the hell am I watching right now? Because that's all it seems like to me is reality TV.
And see, that's pretty much the impression I got. Because like I remember long time ago they had that Real World thing on MTV, and I tried to give it a shot. I really did. I had never heard of it, nothing. And everyone's like, "Oh, this show's so great." And I'm watching. I'm like, okay, so I'm watching what? I'm watching 5 people bitch at each other in a house. If I want to do that, I can turn the TV off.
Okay, now, Wesley, what do you think about Cutter Waldron? What do you think of him as a wrestler?
Yes.
What do I think of Cutter?
Yes.
Is that what you asked me? He's a good guy. He's a good old boy. He's from the same part of the country my dad's from, back in Racewell, West Virginia, and he's always been a very nice, easygoing fella, and he just recently decided that he wanted to wrestle because he was tired of my brothers actually beating up on people in Richmond. My older brother and my younger brother are both wrestlers for a group called GXW, and they're not nice guys. They hurt people. And Cutter is like, well, I've known your family forever. Let me come down there and maybe set them straight.
Now, that's Mr. Big Stuff and Little Big Stuff, right? Or those are your
brothers? It's Mr. Big Stuff and Danny the Bull.
Oh,
is that team of the Woody brothers there?
Yeah. I've seen those guys in some matches, and they really, really are brutal. I seen the Danny. I seen him beat on some midgets one time.
Yeah, actually, I've seen Danny crush quite a few midgets. It's I don't know whether to think that's really awesome or really sad, but either way, it happened.
No, I'm checking
this. Small guy gets in the ring, he gets crushed.
Hold on, just a second. Cutter's actually visiting me this evening. If you can hold on for a minute, I'll grab him. And if you'd like to ask him a few questions. I was like, hey, Cutter. Yeah, they want to talk to you on the radio. Yeah, okay, hold on, here you go. Hi, y'all, I'm on the radio.
Yes, sir, you are. How are you today, Cutter?
Oh, heck, I'm doing all right, buddy. I'm just sitting out here on the porch drinking a little bit of shine, you know what I'm saying?
I most certainly do. Now, I hear that you just recently got into wrestling. Is that correct?
That's right. I've been known to wrestle a bear or two, and I've been into a scuffle with a couple possums, but I decided to go on down there to that Richmond, Virginia, and try my hand at that GXW. My buddy is the Wood is, I grew up around them boys, and now they're being all mean and whatnot, and I just, they need to be nicer than that. They're big old fellas, and they're beat up on little boys. So I decided I'll get on down there and maybe show them a thing or two.
Well, we were just discussing that Danny the Bull, beating on midgets before, no one needs to be picking on midgets,
I'm sorry, could you repeat that for me? I didn't hear you. My dog's barking.
I said earlier we were discussing with that Danny boy, picking on midgets and stuff. How do you feel about picking on midgets? Do you condone that behavior, or you got to get in there and do something about it?
Well, I mean, you can't let big people pick on little people. If you're a big fella, you need to protect little guys. There ain't no need in going out there and crushing some poor little fella like he's some type of varmint. He's just a person. He's just a little person. There ain't no reason being mean to them people. And these bigger fellas need to learn a lesson.
So, you're here to give them that lesson?
Well, yeah. When I was little and I went up and we ever did something wrong, Daddy'd take us out behind the woodshed and tan our hides. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up having to take these Woody brothers out behind the woodshed. Except for my woodshed's going to be in the middle of that ring. And I'm gonna beat them down, and I'm gonna pin them 1, 2, what's that number comes after 2?
3.
1, 2, 3. Yep, that's it right there.
Now, do you have a signature move that you like to use on these guys? Just really cripple them.
Yes, sir. I call it the moonshine. I figure it's my favorite thing in the world. I might as well go ahead and call my move that. Basically, what I do is I throw them over there in that corner, and I come running across the ring, and I just slam into them as hard as I can, and they fall down on their butt. Then what I do is I turn around, and I set my butt, a.k.a. my moon, right down on their face, and I kind of smear it in. So they get to smell all that, and they pass out.
Now that works. That's a good move. I like it.
Now I remember reading on Facebook there that you're also friends with another person. I heard that you're close with Fatty McNasty. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, he's a good old boy over there in that Scotland place.
Yeah. Now.
Yes, sir. He wears a dress, though. That's a little weird. He calls it a kilt, but I think it's a dress.
Now, did he help kind of prompt you for your want to be into wrestling, or was it just purely this vendetta alone that got you there?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Fatty is a good friend of mine, and Wesley is a good friend of mine. And Wesley, he don't wrestle too much no more like he did back in the olden days. But Fatty, he had to go back to Scotland. But before he left, he's like, Cutter, there's these old boys, and you know them, and they're down in Richmond causing a ruckus. He's like, I'd stay and take care of it myself, but I got a family business back home in Scotland. I need you to go do something. I was like, oh, hell, I can go do that, and I'm going to put somebody in their place. I know them Wooded boys. We used to scuff all the time back when we was little. But now that I'm down there and doing it, I got to be honest, I kind of like it. Now, I believe it was Muhammad Ali who said there's better things to do than beating up people. And I'll agree with that, but beating up people's kind of fun, too, as long as they deserve it.
Now, you have a recent a match coming up in Pennsylvania? Is that what's happening now?
Yes, sir. Up in, heck, it's something Summit. I don't know. I got it written down in a book somewhere. But, yeah, I'll be wrestling up there.
Now, do you know who you're wrestling yet, or is this just going to be surprise?
Yeah, actually, me and this feller named the big guy, Pat Lawson, we're going to be going against these two Russian fellers.
Oh,
they're the Russian Destroyers. I think they're just called number 1 and 2.
I've been hearing about Russia in the news acting up lately, needing a good whooping.
Well, they kind of been quiet for a while, but they always been there. I guess they want to start showing themselves again. So, if me as American got to put them back in their place, I'm more than willing and more than honored to do it.
Now,
into that.
Can you do us a favor next week, or not next week, when you go to Pennsylvania to do your show? Can you wave an American flag for us?
Sure, what's that?
Can you wave an American flag?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely wave an American flag.
All right. We want to see that American pride up there, when you whip them Russians.
Hey, man, there's only a few things in the world that matters to me, and that's God, my dogs, moonshine, and the American flag. Because at the end of the day, bottom of the line, I'm an American, and I'm proud to be such.
All right, myself. Can we get Wesley back on the phone? Can you get him on the phone for us?
Yeah, hold on. I think he's out there taking a dump. Hold on a minute. Hey, Wesley! Hey, somebody's want to talk to you. Hey, he's coming. Hold on. Here you go, Wes. All right. Hey, hello.
Hey there, Wesley.
Hey, hello, Wesley. Glad to have you back. That Cutter's a character, ain't he?
Yeah, not a problem. I hope you enjoyed talking to Cutter there. He's a character.
Just in case,
but his match is coming up.
I think I have this right, and I want to make sure so that way I can announce it for anyone who happens to be listening. Ground Zero Wrestling is GXW, correct? That's GoGXW.com.
Correct, and they're based out of Richmond.
Okay.
Yep, Richmond, Virginia.
Now, obviously, we're in Florida. Do you guys ever make it down this far?
I haven't. None of the companies that I've worked with have been in Florida probably in almost 20 years. I would definitely like to, expand that. I know my brothers would like to get a little further out than just the, Mid-Atlantic area. And Cutter, he's only been to 3 states in his life. I'm sure he'd love a trip to Florida. He'd probably try to wrestle an alligator, though, knowing him.
Hey, that's all right.
But,
that's all right. It's no longer illegal down here to wrestle alligators.
Nope. But it's still illegal to
wrestle. That's good to know. I'll have to tell them.
All right. Now, New Blood Talent is having a show in the late summer, early autumn. We're wondering if maybe you could talk to Cutter and see if he would be interested in coming down for something like that, and have among our artists at the event, we could also have him, and if you could talk to your brothers, possibly too, but very much at least him, and get him down here to wrestle, and we'll broadcast it live across our show.
I'll definitely talk to everybody and see what they think. The unfortunate thing is with the type of lifestyles that we lead, it's we're all pretty much booked up through months in advance. But I'll definitely speak with them, and we'll see what we can do for you.
All right.
Josh,
I'm getting feedback from the audience, so just give me 1 second. You can go ahead and talk to them. I'm getting the questions are lining up now, so.
Okay. All right. Since we're talking about obviously being inspired by Weird Al, I have to ask you, what's your favorite Weird Al song?
Oh, that's tough. It would probably Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise.
That I could. Yeah, I laugh so hard every time I hear that. It would either be that or a two-way tie between The Saga Begins or Yoda, because I'm just such a Star Wars fan. And to have Weird Al doing a parody of not only really good songs, but making them Star Wars themed,
I gotcha.
That's just hard to beat.
Well, see, because I'll tell you the truth, I've been a fan of Weird Al for like a long time, but I got more excited when he started doing more nerd-based stuff, because I don't know, obviously I'm assuming you haven't really heard my stuff. A lot of the things I listen to are, it's a genre of music called nerdcore. And it's type of, while they're not all hip-hop, it tends to be heavily hip-hop based, and basically there's a lot of, basically they're literally just what it says, they're all nerds. So there was actually a documentary, and Weird Al was actually on the documentary. It's called Nerdcore Rising, and he was actually on the documentary talking about the genre and kind of impressed to see what it's come up with. But he obviously has some newer songs, Virus Alert. What's the other one? All About the Pentiums. Not to mention,
that's a great one.
Trapped in the drive-through, man.
Okay, now we do have a question. You don't have to get Cutter back on the phone. You can just yell out to him. But if you would, in fact, wrestle an alligator was one of the questions.
Would he like to wrestle an alligator? Is that what you said?
Yes. Would he actually like to wrestle an alligator? That was one of the questions.
He probably would. I'm not in his head, and I kind of don't want to be, but I'm pretty sure. I've seen him wrestle some strange things, and heck, if you have an ex-wife like his, then you'd be willing to wrestle about anything.
Okay, how do I get one more question coming up here? Is Shoney's, in fact, your actually favorite restaurant?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is Shoney's my favorite restaurant? No. I like Shoney's a lot, but unfortunately, most of them are starting to close. That was one of my problems with doing Breakfast at Shoney's as a parody was I didn't know if enough people would even know what Shoney's was anymore. I can remember 10 years ago, you were seeing Shoney's commercials on TV all the time. Now you never see them anymore. Here in Virginia, there's very few left.
Maybe I should have been Breakfast at Denny's.
So Shoney's is great, but it's not my favorite.
All right, so what is your favorite?
Either Wood Grill or there's a place here in Charlottesville near where I live called Hibachi. And they're both buffets, of course. So basically, if you take any restaurant and put buffet on the end of it, it's going to be my favorite restaurant.
I get that. No, we go to Hibachi. Actually, like I said, there's one right up the road from us. So no, trust me, that's a commonly used place here too. Because man, just the idea, get what you want, get as much as you want, makes me a happy camper.
Yes, sir.
All right. Apparently, everybody down here, there are Shoney's down here, and people do love it. So I didn't know. I've never seen a Shoney's down here. So apparently they do exist, and the audience is telling me that they're from I don't know if they're from our area in Florida, but they're in Florida. That there are Shoney's in Florida, so if you come down here, there's a Shoney's for you.
Well, the next time I need a breakfast buffet that bad, I'll know where to go.
I'm pretty sure that's actually just Josh's attempt to try to get you down here.
What? Lure him with Shoney's?
I
lure Cutter with an alligator.
Shoney's, I'm set.
Right. There's actually, it looks like there's in Lake Buena Vista. There looks like there's 2 Shoney's in Orlando area. Although I'm gonna tell you right now, they are quite a few. Jesus Christ, where's that at? I need to learn my states better. They have about 500 of them in Tennessee. And I might be exaggerating a little bit, but the map is covered in red in that area. So it was like they have I went on the Shoney's just to kind of see, because you still got quite a few in Virginia. They're just all out towards let's see here. They're all right in Richmond and then out towards the Newport News, Norfolk, Chesapeake area.
Yeah, and I never get out that way. I'm kind of a homebody.
No, trust me, I get
really the only reason I leave the house is to go to Wood Grill.
And then
they don't deliver.
And then, like I say, you got some in South Carolina, but it looks like almost all of them are in Tennessee area. They just like pile on there.
Now, see, I would have imagined more of them would have been in Florida, with y'all being the, retirement capital of the U.S. Old folks are all about breakfast.
All right, Mike, can you Google that for us? Where did the first Shoney's start?
Actually, that's a good question. Let me see what this is. Let's see here. Our history. Let's see here. There you go. That is why Shoney's is so great. They were a drive-in restaurant first in Charleston, West Virginia.
Haha.
And that is why they have such good food, is because they are actually.
Now we know why everybody loves them in the country.
That's right. Although funny enough, they don't. There's looks like there's only about 6 of them left in West Virginia.
Cutter must have ate them out of business.
I'm guessing so.
That buffet didn't fare so well up there. All you can eat, nope.
That being said, I actually I went into a little Chinese place, Chinese restaurant down in North Carolina, down in Selma, and I went in with, I think it was 3 or 4 wrestlers, and everybody just looked like they were horrified. Just, you could see fear in their eyes. And we're sitting there eating, and this little, Chinese fella comes out, and he's like, you guys are going to eat everything, and you don't eat vegetables. You only eat the meat. Why do you only eat the meat? I'm going to go broke. And I'm like, wow, really? This little Chinese dude is going to come out and full-on yell at a table of giant wrestlers. I couldn't believe it. He wanted to chase us out of there.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. That actually happened to my my uncle one time. Similar incident. He's a truck driver, and he was on the road, and he got thrown out of a buffet for being there too long. So he's a good boy.
Well, that is.
There's a time limit on it. You can't eat from breakfast to dinner.
Hey, I'm going to tell that.
Hey, man, the sign says all I can eat.
I'm not done yet. You don't get to tell me when I'm done. No, a Chinese buffet I would tear up anyway, because I love Chinese food. So I prefer that. We got a Hibachi's down here, and that's where we go for Chinese buffet, and I love that place.
That's what he was talking about. That's one of his places to go, is Hibachi also.
Oh, that's nice. See Hibachi. That's
yeah, and there's the thing with Chinese food. You can eat like 40 or 50 plates of it. You're still not full, so you feel like you got your money's worth.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's their fault, because Chinese food doesn't really fill you up, so a buffet would only take longer. If they were eating, it was all American food buffet, that thing, people wouldn't get past the hot dogs,
Pot roast and potatoes,
A bowl and you're done, big bowl and you're done. And they said, because I asked about that to some foreigners. I have some foreigner friends we were talking about it the other day, and I don't know if everywhere has it, but they actually don't have any all-you-can-eat buffets in places like that. A lot of places in Europe and stuff. So I don't know if they do in
Oh,
Canada.
yeah, that's definitely an American thing.
Right.
We are the overeating capital of the world, so of course we are going to want, a majority of our restaurants geared to eating exactly how much we want to, not how much we should.
Do you ever watch what is that? Hell's Kitchen or any of those cooking shows with Chef Ramsay?
I've watched very few of them. I've actually been cooking since I was 10 years old. I've ran a couple of restaurants as far as being manager and head cooks and whatnot. I really don't get too into the cooking shows. If I need a new idea for a recipe, I normally just go online. I will say I enjoy Rachel Ray. She's really cute and she can cook a meal in 30 minutes. So 2 checks in her boxes.
My wife can't do that with a microwave. So.
I'm gonna make a comment here. For anyone who happens to be listening, because of obviously, Wesley's over and he's not even repping his wrestling. Apparently, anyone who would like to check out some of the stuff on GXW, you can go on to Vimeo, that's Vimeo.com, and put in keyword GXW Wrestling. They actually have a bunch of clips there available for you to check out, and they have some stuff on the on their page as well.
We're going to actually be posting some to our pages for the audience as well. Some of the matches. Also, we're going to embed his Breakfast at Shoney's song into the social page as well. So you'll be able to view both Wesley's song and Cutter's matches up and coming on the social page. So anybody from social that wants to see it, or anybody just listening from YouTube that wants to see it, go over to the social page. It's soundstreamingradio.com, and you'll be able to see his matches and as well as Wesley's songs.
You should actually specify that in approximately 1 week, once Justin gets his self-centered like he's supposed to be.
They all know Justin's a slacker. He's on the show usually.
Exactly. So, he said that basically they're giving him a runaround with his ISP. So he said it'll probably be about another week. He said that because he's trying to get it taken care of, but they're running him around and stuff.
Well, they don't expect it done right away because he works in Canadian time.
Exactly. Well, that's part French. So you know that they only have 20-hour work weeks and stuff.
Right. He's like 3 hours and he's done for the day. And unfortunately, we still didn't have FTFO tonight on the show. I spoke with him. He's just been having some issues, so I don't know when he will be back on the show. I'm hoping soon. But if not, we'll get some special guests to fill in.
Hey, Wesley.
Yes.
The GXO stuff, is there a place for people to watch that, for people that aren't local to, like, obviously I'm not going up to Pennsylvania to watch a match. I mean, I don't mind cheering you on and stuff.
Yeah, any live streams or, Ustream or YouTube that live stream?
Hell, even pay-per-view or buy it on DVD once it's done or, anything like that?
At the moment, they're getting airplay on, it's only on Comcast, and I don't know if, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's only local, like for Virginia, or if all Comcast users can watch it. Their show comes on at, I believe it's 11 p.m. on Saturday night. It's channel 292 or 293, I believe.
Do you know what the show is called?
Aside from that, as far as DVDs go, I know they're really getting off the ground right now. I imagine that very soon you'll be able to purchase DVDs from their website.
Now I have a question. You said it's on Comcast. What channel did you say it was on?
I believe it's 292 or 293. I'll be honest with you. I live way out in the boondocks, and I don't get Comcast. So I actually haven't really paid attention. I know that's kind of sad, but I figure if it doesn't affect me directly, I really don't have to know about it.
Well, no, you figure. I disagree with that. You figure that the more people that are watching, the more eventually you'll make money. So I say repping it makes it worth knowing.
No,
you're definitely right. I'm very lazy about self-promoting.
Oh, I got you. I would say, well, for self-promotion purposes, or I'm promoting you because that's pretty much what I do. Actually, there are already some DVDs up in the Go GWX store, including it looks like a few of the different promotions from last year, 2014, and some other stuff that looks like it's excuse to have sexy girls just. I mean, that's what it looks like from the covers, anyway.
What's the section called? What's the section called again?
Well, I'll be honest. I only recently started working with this company, and my brothers, as I said, they wrestle for them, and I just kind of I try to help a little bit with production in the back. I'm still learning all the ins and outs of their company. I probably should have boned up a little bit more, but up to this point, I haven't had a real need to. But if I come back on with you guys at any point, I'll have a bit more information for you.
If it helps, actually, it gives me something to do, because that's pretty much what I do on the show. Is Josh is always too lazy to actually look stuff up, and I'm really good and quick at it. I can do a search for anything.
I wouldn't call myself lazy as much as delegator. I'm a good delegator. I know how to make Mike do shit.
Right, play to our strengths. The fact is, like I said, I've actually pulled up government documents from Google searches before. So, Josh,
awesome.
Say, I'm the one who grabbed. I don't know if you remember this. There was a thing for a while. There was a guy who had built a 3D printed pistol or rifle, or was it? No, it's a pistol, right? 22 pistol, yeah, called the Liberator. And when all that was happening, I was the one who was able to pull up all the stuff, and I have all the CAD files for it and stuff, and And so Josh usually, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's why he has me on the show, is because during this time I'm sitting here pulling up all the information for all the things we talked about, showing these locations, GXW, and stuff like that. So it gives me something to do. So you're all right.
That's awesome, because I am like computer illiterate. Seriously, I came in I graduated high school just as they were really starting to introduce computers into the everyday work that you did. When I was little, only thing we ever did on a computer was play Oregon Trail. Now I have a computer that it's about, I believe, 8, maybe 9 years old. My laptop is. And I might be able to do a fourth on it of what most people could do on it, because I'm just clueless when it comes to using computers. I missed that little niche because I was just a little too old.
Old ain't nothing to do with it, man. Because of heck, when I was
channel 209, just so everybody, Comcast channel 209.
There you go.
Is the channel at 11 p.m. Is GXW Revolution Wrestling. At least that's what it says on the thing. So just wanted everybody to know that. And hold on. And they have it as a mobile app too. So go GXW Wrestling mobile.
Okay.
So
and just so we can call him out on it, if he ends up in GXW's pocket later, if you suddenly hear him on here and he gets on here and we ask him what his favorite restaurant is and he starts saying Bojangles, that's because that's the sponsor of GXW.
Yeah, it'll change.
We'll know he's pulling the Vince McMahon there if all of a sudden Bojangles is his favorite restaurant. Keep that in mind.
No.
He's a shill.
You should sponsor chicken, though. Everybody should sponsor chicken. I have to agree with that. Apparently, Bojangles does sponsor GXW, though, and they also have. You can go to their store. You can buy. You can shop for things, T-shirts and I was about to say paraphernalia. Memorabilia.
Your wrestling fix.
For your wrestling fix, you can get they got bracelets and keychains as well. Some actually really cool shirts that I might even get me one. That's actually pretty good.
Do they have any in 4X?
That's a good question. Let me find out. Man, they're wrestling. That's something that always drives me crazy when you see that kind of stuff, and they're like wrestling.
I just get mad when it's like
they stop
big wrestler like the Big Show and then Big Show's T-shirt only comes in a small and a medium.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, well, that's like as we were talking.
It blows my mind.
We were talking with Mac before, and obviously the band Insane Clown Posse have always repped the fact that Violent J is fat. It's always been one of their things, and used to all the gear in their store went up to like 5 or 6X, something like that. And but we went out there the other day.
What you get?
Yeah, we were clicking. We were going there the other day because of 2X, man. That's it, man. Shoot, I wouldn't even be able to fit in that stuff right now.
I could squeeze into it. It'll look like one of the women like pour into their T-shirts, but
say no. I think that you could do all right.
I mean, I could put it on, but it'd be like a halter top.
I say, well, Josh can actually fit into it as long as it's not one of those tight fit in 2X. But I actually was in 2X, and I just recently got up to 3X. So unfortunately, I guess I'm out of the demographic for the apparel. So
okay. One of the sorry, got a fan thing here. They want to know if you take requests for songs for your parody songs. Apparently, they got some ideas.
Well, it depends. The problem is, like I was saying before, I'm not that great of a guitarist, and after playing for almost 20 years now, I only know 45 songs. Now, if one of the songs they request, I know it, then yeah, I could probably make a parody out of it. If not, I would have to look it up, see if it has chords that I can play, and if so, I'm sure I could make a parody from it. So yeah, if someone wants to send out a request, all I can do is I can try. I'm not going to promise the finished product, but I can promise that I'll definitely give it effort.
Do you have an email address that you'd like these to go to? That way they don't bother you, except for they're there, but yet they can still contact you.
Yeah, for suggestions.
I've just got one email address. It's wesleywoody76@gmail, and anyone can feel free to drop me a line, make a request.
There you go. Actually, you know what? I think I will make that a little easier for our people since I handle a lot of stuff. I'm going to build you. Well, it's not actually an email account. I think I'm going to basically build a redirect so that way they can actually send it to the NBT stuff. Because obviously all our artists have that, and I'll just go ahead and I'll make you one anyway, and that just filters to your thing, so that way we can put it up on our site, and that way you still don't get spam from bots and stuff, or we can always turn it off if there's spam from bots.
The bots ain't the concern.
That sounds awesome.
The greatest fans is what's going to kill you the most.
Huh?
Well, he put a song out. He's building fans now, and then that'll probably end up being the ones that annoy you the most. It's your fans.
No, it won't. It'll be Josh.
I'll be sending fake emails over there with suggestions for songs. You'll know too, because they'll all be MBT songs. So.
Right, Josh trying to rep us, so therefore he'll be like, "Hey, you should really do that new Mac Hatchet track. Man, you should really do that Crazy D track."
You were speaking earlier about now I don't even remember what you called it, the nerd music.
Yeah, nerdcore.
Nerdcore, there it is. The next parody that I want to do, I really want to do one about Dungeons and Dragons. And you talking about the nerdcore kind of made me think of that again. I am a nerd at heart. I like superheroes. I like Dungeons and Dragons. I like playing video games. So like I said before, you talk about what you know. You write about what you know. Well, I know being fat and I know being a nerd. So I'm thinking that might be the what I gear my next song towards will be the gaming community.
I got you. Well, I'll tell you right now is if you get a chance to check out check out my friends list, check out my likes list and stuff. I actually have a lot of friends in the nerdcore scene, and I'll tell you right now, if you have ideas that you'd like to they're a good, what's the word for it? Good community, I guess you say, to really get into that in terms of like if there's something you need. They're super helpful. And so chances are, like literally, if you're just drawing a blank on something, you could probably talk to them. or if even if you just want to find people who actually like some of the same things, so that way because you could probably hit one of them like I could probably hit a random one up right now. But hey, I have a friend of mine who wants to do a parody, and he'd like to do that. Is there any way that you could help him out with that? And they probably would. They're like they're super like almost scary nice.
Okay, now
That's awesome. But when you're nerd, you kind of got to be nice because you can't be an asshole because people already dislike you to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they got a poll on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh,
they got a poll on GXW's website of who should get a tag title shot. So everybody go to gogxw.com and you will. They have you can vote on who should get a tag title shot.
The Woody Brothers are on the list.
I'm definitely gonna vote for the Woody Brothers. I want to see them in a tag team title shot.
I don't know. Are you sure you should be doing that? You might make Cutter a little upset if you're voting for the guys who happen to go beating up midgets.
Well, that's who I want him to go against for the title. Is Cutter?
Well, that would only work if he had the title, but he doesn't have it. Instead, you need to.
Well, I'll say this about the Woody Brothers. And unfortunately, they're my brothers, so I have to speak nicely of them. They've been with GXW for a while, and they are one of the most dominating forces in that promotion. And they keep getting snubbed. I kind of like to think that maybe if someone showed them a little bit of the respect they deserve for their talents, and gave them the shots that they deserve, maybe they would calm down a little bit. Maybe they wouldn't be so mean. And I've tried explaining this to the promoters. Like, I grew up with these guys. If you treat them nice, they treat you nice. If you disrespect them, they hurt you. So maybe if everybody votes for the Woody Brothers to get their shot, it might calm them down a little bit. And as far as Cutter concerns, he is not worried about belts or anything like that. I mean, he ties his pants with a piece of rope. He just likes protecting people, and he likes beating up on mean people. So as long as he can just get in the ring and scuffle a little bit, he's happy.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you guys want to make sure to help his brothers see the light, then you should probably hop on over to Go GXW and vote for them to get their title shot.
I've just posted to the Social web page, so anybody can go over to the Social Facebook page. Sorry, and you can go there, and it'll link you over to the GXW site and vote for the Woody Brothers so they can get their title shot.
There you go. Let's see if we can get them back on the path of righteousness and not beating up little people.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we apparently Money Green and Shorty Smalls has 78% of the vote. We need to get those votes up. So,
which looks like we are. Well, we got about 20 minutes left. I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and pull up. Cause I actually happen to have that song. Yeah, to let you know, in case you sue me later, I did steal your song off of YouTube.
Yeah, but don't make us pull a Sony on you. Sony shut us down 1 week, so
yeah.
For Doris Day of all people, I'm not even sure that they still hold the patent for that anymore. It's like been 70 years. So we had to have a special edition just for Sony.
Yeah, exactly. Give me 1 second to make sure I'm on the right.
I don't know how well this will go because at least 100 of the musical debate listeners are in Russia. So this comment's Cutter made. It could get nasty.
And since we just had you put your email up on here, then you might get some death threats along with the parody request. So, all right, let's see.
Wouldn't be the first time.
All right, let's see if I got this. Where did I put it at? That's always the question. Here we are. All right. I'm going to go ahead and try to play this. Josh, you'll have to signal me in chat if it turns out that you can't hear it, okay?
I will let you know.
All right.
Says the U.S. is unhealthy, from a poor to a wealthy. Our nation is bad. He says our kids are too obese. Overheating's got to cease. And I say I just don't care. And I said, what about breakfast at Shoney's? She said, I think I remember that meal. Yes, I recall I had biscuits and gravy and a plate of salty bacon. I see some looking sick and anorexic. I can sing or I could text it. Big is better. So why not just have another plateful? I don't mean to be hateful, but skinny people suck. And I said, what about breakfast at Shoney's? She said, I think I remember that meal. Yes, I recall I had pancakes and waffles and a big bowl of buttery grits. The chances the U.S. is unhealthy, from a poor to a wealthy. Our nation is bad. She says our kids are too obese. Overheating's got to cease. And I say I just don't care. And I said, what about breakfast at Shoney's? She said, I think I remember the meal. Yes, I recall I had omelets and sausage and a cement bun for dessert. Now, I sang this song for you. I hope you enjoyed the song. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you had a lot of fun listening to it. However, I do realize that more likely than not, I probably offended a lot of people with that song. So let me just take this moment to apologize to those people. First of all, to any real musicians, I'm sorry about how poor the guitar playing was, and I apologize for how bad the singing was. Again, this isn't my profession. I was just doing it for fun and trying to make y'all laugh. Secondly, to any skinny people who might have heard this, some of my best friends are skinny. I said, hey, do you mind if I say skinny people suck? They said no. So it was in the song. People with anorexia. Yeah, I'm sorry. It might be a little offensive to say something about you, but one of my anorexic friends said it was okay, so I left it in there. Now, people of size, fat people, you know, everyone has made fun of us all of our lives. What I say is, it's time we take it back for ourselves. If you call yourself fat before someone else calls you fat, then you take their power from them. Now, Shoney's, I love you. I love Shoney's. I love breakfast at Shoney's. I hope that my song didn't offend Shoney's and will get me kicked out of Shoney's, because I really like to go to eat at Shoney's again. Lastly, Miss Michelle Obama, I want to say it is truly, truly awesome that you want to dictate what we should and shouldn't eat, make us healthier. I mean, now, when I go to McDonald's, I can order 2 large drinks instead of 1 supersized drink, and that's great for me. But, I just want you to know that I love what you're doing. I'm not offended. I hope you're not offended. And if you're ever in the Central Virginia area, I'd love to take you out for breakfast at Shoney's.
I have to say, my favorite part of that whole thing is some of my best friends are skinny. I love that. I really do. It's like some of my best friends are skinny. Oh.
Now, if you could, if Michelle Obama was here right now, what would you say to her? Do we have enough time for this?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Obama. Thank you for everything you and your husband have done for our country. I really mean that.
Right? You know why? Because you don't want to be on the radio insulting the wife of the president. That doesn't seem like a really good plan.
I think it's a really great plan.
I was actually told that I shouldn't put that video on YouTube because now I'm going to have, the CIA and the FBI and yada, yada, yada checking me out. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to go to the White House and try to blow it up. I mean, where am I going to hide anything? My clothes are so tight that you can see, every roll and wrinkle. It's not like I'm going to hurt anybody. I just want to be allowed to be a fat guy.
Let's say if it makes you feel any better, I live on government watch list because of some of the magazines and chemicals and stuff that I order. Biotech stuff that I ordered. I pretty much, you can ask Josh, I ordered a couple magazines or a couple catalogs when we were working on our company back when we had a storefront. And after I ordered them, all of a sudden my mail started getting open for months. My mail was pre-open and stuff. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I live on those watch lists. It doesn't bother me none. Cause like I said, I ain't doing nothing. So.
Okay.
Here's the thing. If the government actually wants to get mad at me because I made a song saying that, it's okay to be fat and that we shouldn't, listen to our political figures trying to tell us how we should live our lives, then let them come arrest me. As far as I'm concerned, my song is covered by the, First Amendment. I can say what I like. I never talked about trying to hurt someone. I was never threatening. All I did was say, hey, I'm fat, let me be fat. And if that offends somebody, then come put me in jail because I'll get out and I'll get a book deal. So, have at it. Come after me.
They'll probably drone strike your Shoney's, though. You never know. You know what I'm saying? That could be what did you say your favorite restaurant was again? They might send a drone over there just to take it out, and you won't have no barbecue.
Next thing I know, I'll have a little drone follow me every restaurant I go in.
Also, I have to say,
dropping little Weight Watchers pamphlets.
The first time I heard that damn song, I was sitting there and I was listening to it because my mom was like, "Hey," she's like, "Have you heard Wesley's new song?" I'm like, "No, I didn't even know he had a song." She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You gotta listen to it." I'm like, "All right." So I went ahead and I put it on, and by the end of that song, I'm like sitting there, "Damn it, I want some eggs and grits and some freaking bacon." I'm like, oh, I'm like that.
I think bacon every time I hear that song. Like right now, I'm thinking I'm craving bacon. I'm like,
man. I think I'm a breakfast person anyway. As in, I like Brenner. I'll be like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll be like, you know what I could really go for right now? Let's go out. And there's this little place called the Big Rig. It's like a 24-hour truck stop spot near us. And I'm like, hey Tara, let's go down there and get some breakfast. And their grits ain't that good. You basically end up having to salt them and butter them to make them good. But the rest of their food's good. And so basically, I ordered their trucker special or whatever, And so when I hear that damn song, like I said, I'm sitting there going, even right now, I ain't even hungry right now, and I'm already thinking breakfast. So I know that give me about an hour or two, I'm making a Big Rig run.
There ain't a minute out of every day that I don't think about bacon. I ain't gonna lie to you. My problem is I love breakfast. I love breakfast foods. I don't like eating breakfast in the morning. if Shoney's offered their buffet, starting at like 12 o'clock, I would be the happiest guy on earth, because I want to eat my bacon, eggs, grits, whatnot for lunch or dinner instead of for breakfast.
Me and Mike went out to breakfast at McDonald's the other day. I was so excited because I haven't had like McDonald's breakfast in like a decade or two. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because I don't get up that early. You know what I'm saying? I just can't get up before 10:30. So we were out there at 8 o'clock and actually got some McDonald's breakfast, and that was like super exciting.
Although the eternal debate. What is your favorite bread choice for your morning bread or for your breakfast bread? I mean, do you prefer biscuits? I mean, not counting biscuits and gravy. I mean, to go with the as a side,
like a bagel or a McMuffin or a biscuit,
or cornbread or just toast.
Biscuits any day of the week, man. You can't beat a homemade biscuit. You can make biscuits for breakfast, eat them with breakfast, and then lunch comes around, you can, cut that biscuit open, throw some bologna and cheese on there. You got lunch, and the bread is going to taste way better than getting sliced bread out of a bag. You can't beat homemade biscuits.
Okay, you'll be excited to know that even our listeners in New York think that Michelle Obama should shut up and I can eat what I want, which was and of course all our Florida listeners are like, shut up. I don't even think they want to eat what they want. They just want her to shut up. But your New York listeners and up in states that favor her still want, large soft drinks.
Well, of course, man. Well, I don't think that's fair anyway. I drink diet.
That could be the thing too. Now you got to get like a diet and a non-diet soda because you have to get two different drinks. You could actually be hindering the process.
That's what I'm saying, because that frustrates me.
That's going to be like the next step is that, you go to your fast food place and you order, and they're going to ask you, well, is this entire order for you? Are you sharing this with someone?
Oh,
it's almost going to be like buying drugs. It's like, no, this is just for me. This is my own personal use. I just need a little bit to get me by. And it's sad. Again, damn it, we're Americans. If we want to be fat and sloppy and unhealthy, it is our God-given right. There should be no one in any authoritative position saying, "Hey, you're too fat. Stop it."
I agree. I think we should have like the 28th Amendment or 29th Amendment. I think we're on 27, right? 28th Amendment. The right to biscuits and gravy. Come on now.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I think that the problem is that a lot of people from up north have never had Southern cooking. I think that's.
You think their moms cook bad? So.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it, man. What do they even get?
I mean, Obama's wife can't cook.
Well, I've talked to people from up north. Their chicken and dumplings have vinegar in them, like a ton of vinegar. I'm like, no wonder you guys don't like your food. Like, y'all ain't got nothing fried. I'm like when I talk to someone and they're like, oh, he doesn't really get into fried chicken. I'm like, who the hell doesn't get into fried chicken?
I've seen Obama and he's waiting for Michelle to cook any kind of good. You know what I'm saying? Because he'd look like us if
exactly. Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like I said,
I am pass on a fourth piece of chicken. You know what I'm saying? You got the fried chicken on the table, and your wife's done all that hard labor on it. You're thinking, damn, I want another leg. Give me a leg, just a small one, or a wing.
Give me a drumstick. I'm fine with that. Well, I'll tell you now, I don't think anyone could ever have freaking pulled pork barbecue and not get fat. I'm sorry.
Okay, now I have to ask you, Wesley. We actually have a temporary open slot since our third. We normally have a third host, and we've had so much fun with you tonight. I was wondering if you would be interested in doing some temporary hosting for the next couple shows.
Sounds like fun.
All right. We'll have you back here next week as a host, and we can discuss some more musical topics. Although we didn't discuss much music tonight, but we did get to hear a really great song and some backdrop about the artist that made it. So that was really awesome. We've got about 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna thank Social Radio. So everybody tune in whenever at soundstreamingradio.com. I want to thank New Blood Talent, our sponsors. Our sponsors also Bad Beard Productions. Got to thank those guys. without sponsors. We're just a bunch of guys in a Google Hangout. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to thank our listeners most of all. There may only be 200 of you, but you keep us going every week and excited to do it. Even the ones in Russia. Yes, you guys, you too. I don't want to see our numbers drop in half because of the Russian comment.
All because Cutter's hating on the Russians.
So yeah, we love our European listeners, even Canadian listeners. Yes, I know I bash Canadians. We like our Canadian listeners too. We just don't like the food or your policies or.
Actually, I don't know, man. Remember what Nolan said about that Houghton or whatever it is? That sounds pretty good.
They probably stole it from somewhere else.
Well,
hey man, they got poutine up there. They got French fries with gravy and cheese.
That's what I was trying to say.
That's what he was talking about. I love that he's
talking about. I have a friend from up in Canada, and he has told me that when I come up there for his wedding, he's gonna get me some of that stuff. And I was like, that sounds good. I was like, that's the first Canadian food that sounded good to me. I was like, that sounds like some good stuff.
So yeah, I just like to thank everybody. And we'd like to thank you, and of course you can let Cutter know we thank him for coming on the show because we really like it. But we really enjoyed this musical debate with you, so we're looking forward to having you next week. And
it sounds like a blast, man, and I appreciate you guys having me on this evening. Like I said, I'm pretty lazy about self-promoting, and just knowing that there's guys like you who are willing to help out, struggling artists, people who don't have a venue, people who don't have a way to get their music out there and heard. It's great that there's someone like you guys working at getting them out there so that people can hear them. On behalf of me and every other struggling artist in the world, I'd say thank you for that.
Well,
and to the listeners out there that do not have the SoSure app, it is in the Google Play Store. You can get it there. And you can always listen in at any time. So no excuses why you can't listen in. I don't care if you're at your grandma's house. You can tune in on the SoSure mobile app and listen to us just babble on.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. And like I said, once again, thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Cutter. And let's go ahead and call it there.